I'm in the process here of relocating the ignition switch for the 2013R tractor. As mentioned by others on the internet and YouTube, it seems to be a problem. You hit it with your knee or your shin, and people are suggesting that we have a spare set of keys on hand because you're going to break them off. So rather than going that route, what I've done is I've removed the key switch. There's a big plug that's on here. I've got a fish wire in here right now, and that fish wire is going to be used to pull in a 7-conductor cable that I've made up, and I'm going to relocate that key switch to this location here and put a little cover on the green panel where the key is normally located, and I'm going to make it in such a way that if anybody or myself wants to go back, it's not going to be a problem. There's not going to be any soldering of wires. It's just going to be purely a modular plug-in design. So what I have right now is a harness that I've made up with 7 feet long, in a loom with 5 cables in it, and I've left this end open because I'm going to use the fish tape to pull it through, and I'm going to follow the original route. As you look on this tractor, it's got a lot more electronics than my old 4115, relays and modules and whatever. So I'm going to follow the same route that the John Deere followed and run that cable back to that right fender location and just move the switch. So like I say, a lot of people complain about it. I agree with them, but I want to do something about it. I don't feel I should have to live with it. I had to change my routing a bit here. I must have been using a rubber rule. I measured 7 feet from the key switch location to the new key switch location, and I probably would have been better off with 8, maybe 9 feet and had a little bit extra, but anyhow, that got brought around and it's now right here. So I've got the wires all numbered, and what I'm going to do now is insert them into the stabs on that plug. As luck would have it, you can see here's a key switch. Here's the hole it's got to go through. Unfortunately, this is thinner than what's on the front dash. So I need a spacer or a washer. That's the nut that's going to hold it on. It's going to be right here like that. That's going to be the new key location once I set this panel in proper. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is, I could probably buy a washer or whatever, but I'm just cutting one here on the lathe. And I had a piece of stainless steel laying around, so that's what I'm going to use. This is a washer I made, and it's just going to go over the ignition switch. You can see I've got some center punch holes, or center punch marks in there, and that's just to give it a little bit of bump so it's going to act like a lock washer and not want to spin and dig in. So I'm just about ready to put this all together, and we'll see how it all works out. So the next problem at hand, I've got a hole here in the dash that I want to fix in the panel. So I've got some black acetal rod. I'm going to turn down a plug, and of course here's our tractor. And I'm just working on the back side of it. I have this piece left over, a scrap. You make bearings and stuff out of this. It's really good. So, and it's easy to turn. I'm going to turn that down and fit a plug for that, and then I should be able to put the whole tractor back together. Last part of the project. I just made up this filler plug out of some Delrin, and that's what it is, Delrin acetal. They make bearings out of it, and on the other side I just put a little strap and a small screw there to hold it, and we're all set. Here's a shot of where the old key used to be, and now where the new key is. Now, the problem I had the other day was I have a drawbar with a ball on it for moving my trailer around. I find it easier to move the trailer, backing it into different places on my property with a tractor. So normally what I'll do is I'll kind of turn around, I'll have one foot on the pedal, and what happens? Right here I get the key in my knee. And I just said, the heck with that. I don't need a bad knee. So hence that's why it got moved. So everything works. It's comfortable. It's easy for me to grab onto right here. Success. On to the next thing that bothers me. One other thing that I don't like about this tractor is the way you have to unlatch the hood. So I've changed it, I've extended the shaft, and I put a little button like that, and now I can just open my hood without trying to get any tools or anything fancy. Perfect. Works for me.